There are ingredients that may help the effectiveness. For example, they're called brighteners for your clothes, and they stay on your clothes and reflect light so that your clothes look cleaner, but they're not cleaner. You're also being exposed to that ingredient because it's staying on your clothes.
That seems very disingenuous. It's a 1,000-year-old industry or market, if you want to call it that. A lot of new players coming into the market. So why did you and Matt decide to get into this space?
A great question. I am someone that has tried to make a shift away from plastic to decrease my waste in everyday life. So I had toothpaste tablets, plastic-free laundry. I had started that process with products. Matt and I were cleaning our home, and I said, well, why don't you make me a tablet for my all-purpose cleaner? I'm tired of throwing away these bottles. So it really came out of a need and a want of a product that I wanted to continue reducing waste. So we started to look at ingredients, and it started on our kitchen table, mixing formulas. We have a garage in our backyard, and we later converted it into a lab.
How many people are actually searching for sustainable alternatives to, specifically in the cleaning products and the laundry, or in the cleaning business in itself? That is one was surprising to me, just the pure search volume of people searching for it. Hey everyone, so we have a very special guest here today, Kay, who I've known for a few years now. What I love about Kay is that she is one of the most aspiring entrepreneurs, I would say, someone who wants to learn, someone who wants to connect to people, and of course has built a very strong network of advisors, mentors who really care about her and her business, which is an interesting aspect in itself. So she's one of the founders of Green Llama. I would say one of my favorite sustainable cleaning products company, and I will let Kay expand on it further. But thank you so much for taking the time. Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Akil. Excited to be here.
Yeah, so Kay, just let me know. I mean, the cleaning space is obviously very crowded. Almost
Yes.
all the major Fortune 100 CPG brands have a presence in this
Mhm.
space. It's a 1,000-year-old industry or market, if you want to call it that. A lot of new players coming into the market. So why did you and Matt decide to get into this space? What was the origin? What inspired you to come into the folds of the rugged entrepreneurial journey that you have followed for the last few years?
Yes, it is quite a jungle. That is something we learned very quickly. Great question. We were, let's see, Green Llama was born early in the COVID pandemic. I am someone that has tried to make a shift away from plastic to decrease my waste in my everyday life in our home. So I had toothpaste tablets, plastic-free laundry. I had started that process with products, and Matt and I were cleaning our home. He was brainstorming something, a tablet that could help scientists in the lab, instead of having to mix up something every time. He's a neuroscientist. He was in academia and before Green Llama. And I said, well, why don't you make me a tablet for my all-purpose cleaner? I'm tired of throwing away these bottles. And so it really came out of a need and a want of a product that I wanted to continue the reducing waste. So we started to look at ingredients, and he said, yeah, I think I can do this. So then the next step, we referenced the EPA Safer Choice list, as well as ratings from the Environmental Working Group, to source ingredients. And then it started on our kitchen table, mixing formulas. We have a garage in our backyard, and we later, with the help of my family, converted it into a lab. So we quit calling it the garage. Matt, who is English, calls it the garage, if you ever ask him about it. But now we are really calling it our lab because we've got our machinery. It's temperature, humidity controlled. We've got a downdraft table. It's a really neat spot. So that was the beginning. And goodness, why did we jump into this competitive market with big players? I think honestly, it was just we were looking here in the beginning like, oh, I need this. And then as we've developed the business, we joined a startup boot camp locally. We joined Knoxville, it's a Spark Accelerator program to take our what was a hobby and a need to turn it into a business where we saw a need, um, yeah, out in the world, out in the market.
I think that is pretty admirable because if you talk to, well, practically anybody, they would always have a dream or an ambition of being an entrepreneur themselves. They
Mm-hmm.
would have some ideas, again, based on personal experiences, and they would feel that, oh, maybe I can do this. Maybe I can, start this and become a billionaire overnight. At least that's what the media portrays.
Right.
Successful entrepreneurs. But then
Mm-hmm.
obviously the reality is not so much a rough journey, it's more of a character development. You learn so much about yourself, your
Yes.
co-founders, your business, and your
Mm-hmm.
customers. And I think one of the first things that I found out about you guys is that you started off doing farmers markets. And
Correct.
one of the most common things that you get asked is like, hey, are you guys part of a franchise? Are you guys salespeople for a
Right.
large company? What's happening there? So that is interesting because I'm surprised that people are asking like what is the reason that they may be asking that? And secondly,
Right.
for all those entrepreneurs or potential entrepreneurs who wish to solve a problem, launch a product, launch a service, they would have to get their hands dirty, start from ground
Mm-hmm.
up. What would your advice be for all of them who wish to do something that you are doing right now?
Ooh, great. Yeah, that's I have a lot of thoughts there. You probably do too, Akil. Yes, we launched at our farmers market and we did. We had people saying franchise, which we were happy with because we liked that it looked professional. And I think part of it was that our booth was a very different product in the farmers market. We were hand making them at the time, but a cleaning product was different. You see lots of fruits, vegetables, soaps. So that may have been why. I also attribute it to our logo, which I think is really nice. We found a great designer to help us with our logo to make it look like that. And after the farmers market, got feedback, um, learned that people were excited about a product like this, that are excited about less plastic, refillable options. And for entrepreneurs, who again, you're right, entrepreneurship has highs and lows emotionally. It it requires a lot of persistence and a lot of yes, getting your hands dirty. Um, so the advice I would give is expect that the lows are real and they're gonna happen. The highs are also real and gonna happen. Um, and then early on, get good advisors and mentors. Seek out your local entrepreneur center. Find someone in the startup world to help. Matt and I will tell you we've made some poor decisions, some financially early on that we wouldn't have done had we spoken to someone that knew more about marketing early on. Like, hey guys, don't spend your money there. That you're not ready for that. Or maybe start trying to get customers this way. And Matt's a neuroscientist again. I am an occupational therapist, but not currently working in it. So we didn't have business backgrounds, or I don't have entrepreneurs in my family. So that is probably the biggest advice. They're not only mentors, not only someone you speak with regularly to learn how to work out this business, but also when you're in those times where it's tough and you're exhausted, can be your cheerleaders.
Hmm.
There's times I get on a video call with a mentor and I'm feeling down, and then afterwards I'm ready to take on the world. So
And another thing that you might get asked quite often,
Mhm.
and this doesn't happen again, doesn't happen a lot in the startup space, is that you have decided to start this venture with your partner, with your husband. How has that worked out personally, professionally? Do you think you would have behaved differently as a founder if you were not
Mhm.
married to your
Mhm.
co-founder, or has that been a good thing, bad thing? Like what have you observed over the months?
Yes, because a great question because it's when you're married, you have your relationship that is really important, and then also our company that is now our baby, a baby. So it is overall, I do recommend it. It does bring in different challenges in your relationship because we're working together all day. We're also, married. I'm kind of repeating the same things, but it has brought its challenges, and then it's also been really awesome to be with the person I love and build this thing together. Um, so there definitely have been ups and downs. There's more things to argue about. Which logo should we choose? How should we make this formula? All of those. As as time goes on and we're building our team, it has been really nice because there are different people that we all wear a lot of hats. We all do everything, but different people are able to have different jobs, and instead of both of us doing everything, it's separated. We also meet as a group now instead of every decision comes down to Matt and I. So that I would say adding more on your team faster to have those deciding votes whenever whenever it's needed is a good idea. But yeah, it does have its challenges. Overall, it's it's so happy we did it. It's been a great thing.
And having known the both of you and Green Lama
Mm-hmm.
as well, I strongly believe that it's just a matter of time before it
Mm-hmm.
blows up, and blows up in the sense it starts showing up in Whole Foods and Walmart and probably Erewhon or wherever it would expand to. And it's just a matter of, just like most successful startups, it may take a few months, it may take a few years, just a matter of persistence, perseverance, uh,
Mm-hmm.
going ahead, making as smart of decisions as possible, and doing
Mm-hmm.
what's right by you and the company. So in this stage, obviously you must have experienced it now that you have been doing that. Some days, most of the days are lows. It is frustrating, either because of real reasons or made up reasons in your
Mm-hmm.
head. It can get to that situation where you're like, why did I start? Like, I could have been uh, earning much more than I am right now, whatever I'm doing.
Building my retirement. Yeah.
Retirement, you could have been, I don't know, vacationing more. I don't know, there could be a lot of reasons that you might think that alternate career options would have been good. And given the fact that you have bootstrapped the whole thing from scratch, that obviously shows commitment. That shows how much positive feedback you must have received from those early customers in the
Mm-hmm.
farmers market, because without which, why would you
Right.
spend money, but more importantly, your time, the prime of your lives, basically, in building something? So have there been instances where you felt that, yeah, I should not have bothered doing any of this, too hard, it'll take a while,
Mm-hmm.
plus with my husband behind me, what's has there
Right.
been situations like that?
Have I had those moments? Absolutely. Quite a few. Like, oh, why are we doing this? Exactly. I could have my job, continue the career, and have a regular paycheck with PTO and benefit, all of those good things. And it's it it's funny. I've had those moments, but not enough of them to really want to stop. It more of the moments are, ooh, I wish I would have had this person on board to help us earlier on, so we wouldn't have done this, this, and this. Hindsight is 2020. If I knew what I knew now, and I had grown to understand, business, our area, the market, and all of the things we need to do, we would have gotten where we are a lot faster. But of course, that's how it goes. Yeah, no, I had some friends. They are also working together through a business, and we asked that question back and forth. If we knew how hard it was going to be day one, because we were totally naive, would we do it? And we laugh and say, ha ha,
Mhm.
but then also the answer is still yes.
Mhm.
I, I, Green Llama is already a success. We are expecting it to take off at some point. It is, going to happen, cross our fingers. But even if it becomes a small in the future, or let's say something crazy happens and it doesn't continue to grow, I, I, I wouldn't change it.
Hmm. And talking of the product itself, the
Mm-hmm.
reason that you started is, of course, to um, because of the need that you felt that
Mm-hmm.
is throwing away
Yes.
plastics, there could be a good alternative, and there has been. And since I have been fortunate to have been working on the Amazon side of things, the e-commerce side of things, for you guys, there are a few things that have stood out to me over the last few months. Firstly, is that how many people are actually searching for sustainable alternatives to, specifically in the cleaning products and the laundry, in the
Mm-hmm.
cleaning business in itself. That is one was surprising to me, just the pure search volume of people searching for it.
Yeah.
Second thing I was surprised by was how much people were willing to try new products like Green
Mm-hmm.
Llama. And if you remember, we actually ran campaigns to see if people would actually go to these big named massive companies
Right.
first and then buy a product. And both of us know we were surprised by how much that actually happened, where people were searching for
Mm-hmm.
well-known brands, $1 million, probably $1 billion companies, and then
Mm-hmm.
buying our products. Even though we were pretty early, it's not like our prices were lower than them. We did have a very strong presence. And the third thing that surprised me, the repeat customers, how many people came back, bought refills from us, and continue to expand, bought other products from us, and so on. And this is just e-commerce because that's where I had
Mm-hmm.
my eyes on over the last few years. What do you think that you did in early on in
Mm-hmm.
marketing, branding, messaging, packaging, and
Mm-hmm.
setting up, that you think has contributed to this early growth, early influx of
Mm-hmm.
customers that not just tried but continued to use our products?
Right. Yeah. That I and one thing about a brand new brand, not the big company that's been around, is looking at green cleaners, we have taken it a step further. It's not just that the ingredients are non-toxic. It is also removing the plastic and the waste, removing the water. For example, I don't know, a regular, if it's an all-purpose bottle of spray cleaner, a large majority of that bottle is water.
Hmm.
And so if we are shipping that water across the country, it's going to increase cost, it's going to increase carbon emissions. So we're going from a heavy bottle to 3 grams. So we calculated it. I have to look exactly. But like if you have an 18 wheeler semi truck where you could send about 40,000 bottles of cleaner, Green
Hmm.
Llama could send over 9 million refills. So it's a space saving. We're reducing shipping water, and reducing plastic. We chose a compostable material to hold all of our products. So it's either cardboard or compostable. So let's say we have new dishwasher tablets that we love. They're really, really effective.
Hmm.
It's the tablet and the ingredients in a compostable bag. So after you use the dishwasher tablets, that bag can turn into soil.
Hmm.
So there is nothing left. Same thing with these refills. You have a compostable little pouch, fill up, refill your bottle, that pouch can turn into soil. Same thing with our laundry. So that is a big difference. We were also extremely picky about how non-toxic our ingredients were. We still found some in the green cleaning sector that we were like, that I not super happy with. So it's like taking the green cleaning market and continuing it on to be better. So does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. And
Perfect.
I have a few, let's say, rapid fire questions as well.
Mhm.
This, we'd call it Mythbusters round, where I would be saying some statements that could be considered as
Mhm.
popular myths that people think of when they think of cleaning products. So the first one, and you
Mhm.
can tell me whether it's true or whether it's not true.
Okay.
The first myth is that green cleaning products or products that position themselves as being green or sustainable or
Mhm.
recyclable, they are typically less effective than regular legacy products that have been around.
Yes, that is definitely false, but a very common myth. And in the group of people that use green cleaners already, uh, it's an easy switch over to Green Llama because they're used to it still being effective. Um, and and one way we did that at the farmers market was showing that effectiveness. We'd put oil and then clean it. Um, I, Demos are really helpful for showing that effectiveness. And there's also a piece. Let's see if this is getting too much of a tangent, but for our laundry, for example, there are ingredients that may help the effectiveness. For example, they're called brighteners for your clothes, and they stay on your clothes and reflect light so that your clothes look cleaner,
Hmm.
but they're not cleaner.
Hmm.
And but that's also, you're also being exposed to that ingredient
Hmm.
because it's staying on your clothes. So there's this piece of, they are effective, but we're also removing things that, sure, they may work, but what's the
Trade-off.
the the risk reward type thing. Um so absolutely they do work. We did a big customer feedback survey to look at effectiveness. We have cleaning companies that use our products. They love them because of the space that it saves. And we have had multiple cleaning companies test out our product for us, coming back with positive feedback. So it's ultimately, though, you got to try them. Try them yourself and see, oh yes, these do work. They're just as good as the um, more toxic cleaning products, I would say, or regular cleaning products.
Mhm. I'm surprised to hear
For
about
you.
the shiny clothes thing. I was not aware that there were added
Yeah.
chemicals to give that effect. That seems very disingenuous for someone.
Right. Exactly. And again, it works, but there's also many people that feel like they want to disinfect their home all the time. You think about bleach. If you don't smell something really strong, then it's not clean. And this, I guess, this is for the science minded. Even the CDC, I've looked at them talking about disinfecting, cleaning, sanitizing, and they say unless someone's been sick, there's not really a good reason to disinfect everything all the time, clean, because those are the worst um, ingredients for us. Those reagents, the bleach, they're one of QACs, ammonias. That's for the glass, but they cause more harm long term than benefit in killing the germs. There's a lot of research on that.
Hmm.
So also, we don't need to have hospital grade disinfectants in our home. It's actually more harmful than helpful.
That's interesting you should mention.
Yeah.
There was a case study that I came across a while ago in India.
Mm-hmm.
It's a product that people commonly use to treat cuts and bruises. And
Mm-hmm.
the story went that whenever they do pour the liquid on the cut, it burns a lot. So one of the companies figured out a way to make the same thing, but without having the burning sensation. But when people used it, they did not feel the burn. They felt that it did not kill the germs or it did not sanitize them. And so it never took off. So it's just
Interesting.
that is
It's
just
like
that should
they
happen.
needed the burn to feel like it was working. That's so interesting. Wow. Wow. Huh.
That was
Yeah,
I think
that is
that's
very
what's
similar.
I think that's what's happening in a lot of the case, like the Sheen example that you gave. It's just toxic, and it's
Mhm, exactly.
not an outcome of having cleaned better, but it's an outcome
Right.
of having used an additive.
Exactly. Oh, there's a lot of studies, but one, it was 2018, looked at long-term use of
Hmm.
regular cleaning products, including those heavy disinfectants, and they they made the equivalent of smoking 20 cigarettes per day for long-term uh, health effects of your lungs. So that was pretty powerful, and that's a shocking one, but it's real. I had the neuroscientist
Confirm.
peer review make sure.
I mean, it's yeah, it is surprising. And the
Yeah.
second myth, or maybe it's true, I don't know, you would have to tell me, that is perhaps popular, is that when you
Mhm.
buy green products, it is typically more expensive than
Right.
the regular one. I'd love
Mhm.
to know if that is true or if that's a myth.
Ooh, I would say in the middle. Depends on the product, because there absolutely are products that are more expensive than the regular. But I mean, for example, if you need a refill of our all-purpose cleaner, that's tablets that you mix in a bottle, it's $2.50. So
Hmm.
that is going to be cheaper than
Hmm.
green cleaners you find
Hmm.
regular cleaners at the store, and most others. It other products that we brought on as a small company, we plan to get prices down, but our cost, it has to be along with our cost because we're making small batches.
Hmm.
So for Green Llama, it depends, and I think out there are definitely green cleaners that you pay a premium for. They are intended to be
Hmm.
fancier, I would say. But overall, I would say no. So I'd say overall false.
Got it. And the final myth that is perhaps again not just in cleaning products but any consumer
Mm-hmm.
products is that buying products from large companies is better because yeah, you know what you get. It's you're familiar with it. Perhaps your family has used it in the past, and maybe their products are safer because they have more money to invest in R&D. They have all these scientists in place to make sure that the products are safe and effective. And so maybe the trust factor could be higher there as well. And that could be one of the reasons why a large majority of people may be reluctant to
Mm-hmm.
try any other product that they're used to. So I'd love to know your thoughts on that as well.
Right. No, that's a great question, because you do think big company must be good. And I mean, the first point is there are a lot of big companies that, knowing a lot about ingredients now and chemicals, even some green cleaners have ingredients that are harmful. So even the bigger companies, yes, they have all of the resources for R&D. But for example, there's a common one out there that was given allergen of the year in 2013. That's in all kind of cleaning products, hand soaps, green cleaners. As some have since taken it out, but I wouldn't say just because it's a big company means it's safe. And then the other piece, since Matt and I literally started these formulations on our kitchen table, looking through, the EPA and the EWG for what ingredients are safe, what not, why, all of that. Matt has a lot of literature review experience, so that was really helpful in digging into the ingredients. We know what goes in there. We've known what goes in there from day one because we've done it, and so I think that can also build the trust because it was a product that I wanted to make for us. And the research that we did to make sure that it's safe has been a priority, an essential part of our brand from day one. That's not always the case in big companies.
I would also go as far to say that I might trust you guys now in the
Mm-hmm.
products because you built it from scratch, you used it yourself. You're not
Mm-hmm.
necessarily motivated to increase the shareholder value in the next quarter
Right. Yes.
based out of that. But once you guys become a billion-dollar company, that's when I'll be skeptical, like, "Hmm, should I continue buying
Right.
them or not?" So
Right. That's when you worry. So yeah, no, and that will be important too as we grow and scale, that we keep that mission and as a priority, because if that's what is drawing people to the brand, then that has to stay a big piece of it, or yeah, we'll lose our great customers.
speaking of your customers, just going
Yes.
analytical for a moment, over the past, since you started, What
Mhm.
percentage of those customers do you think, in your best approximation,
Mhm.
are converts who would have never thought of or purchased
Right.
your products or any green products, but have come on board and have been a loyal customer since? Like, what percentage of your customers would be categorized under that?
That is a very tough question. I mean, short answer, I don't know. But long answer, we in our customer feedback survey, which we are continually getting responses to build understanding of what people like, what they don't. We do have a question comparing competitors that they have used.
Mhm,
And that's some of the big companies, some of the companies that are newer, more like us,
mhm,
um, that 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 we know and love. So, and percentage wise, I don't know, but we did get data on how they compared Green Llama to what they've used before.
mhm,
And many of our customers definitely used green cleaners before switching to Green Llama.
mhm.
Um, and I think that loyalty does come from the low waste that they say, oh, these are effective, these are great. I can store so many of them in a small space. Um, yeah, but I wish I had a better answer for you there.
Would it be fair to say that the biggest motivator for someone to enter this space,
Mhm.
is it the fear of toxins that they educate themselves with, or they find out that is present
Mhm.
in their products, or is it to, reduce plastic consumption,
Mhm.
just make decisions that are better for the kids, for the planet, or is it pure monetary reason or effectiveness reason, because perhaps green products are more effective in
Mhm.
solving a lot of the problems? Which of these three do you think is the biggest driving factor?
We have found that although there is the group that is mostly focused on reducing plastic, um, more are worried about ingredients and not using toxic ingredients because it's closer to home, literally in your home, and you have your family, your pets, so you
Mm,
don't want the exposure to harmful chemicals. Um, I do believe that is shifting though, because we are also seeing microplastics
ah,
found in human bloodstreams and the lungs. They're starting to research health effects. It's still new and we're not sure, but plastic is also a is harmful. The Loctite, it's it's in our oceans, it's in our landfills, and it doesn't go away. It takes thousands of years. So and then Matt and I actually laughed recently about our marketing because we're so focused on the plastic and it not being toxic. And we assume that it works because we use it and we know it does. And it is important, but our advisor has pushed it. And it's like, why do people buy cleaners? To clean. So they have to be effective.
yeah.
So the group of people that need it to be effective, or that are high priority is effectiveness, um, I think that's just assumed across the board. If you want non-toxic, if you want less plastic, if it's not effective, that
Mhm.
I I wouldn't rebuy something that didn't work. So like,
Do you think, while in the product development phase and product iteration phase, what is that one feature of the product that you think played a big role in getting the early traction, getting the early customers? Is it effectiveness? Obviously, is not subjective, but it is not immediately visible after purchasing or after trying. It
right.
takes a while. um,
Mm-hmm.
or it could be scent, the smell of the product or the lack thereof, or it could
Mm-hmm.
be the form factor, it could be the price, perhaps. Like, what do you think is the one that you think really makes Green Llama stand out?
Ooh, all of the above, of course. um, ooh, that's a good question. I Is it effectiveness? Is it price? Is it non-toxic?
Mhm,
I I have was told this by a mentor and I've used this. Green Llama is a holistic green cleaner
mm,
from all different angles. And I think that is the biggest differentiator, not one piece of the puzzle, but everything all together. The
mhm,
compostability, the non-toxic
mhm,
ingredients, the effectiveness, and the fragrance. We use nice essential oil blends as
Mm,
our fragrance, and they're really lovely. And I find that they smell better
mhm.
than traditional synthetic fragrance. Um, and this is a piece that I do want to mention is the llama. It is unique to green cleaners. We are trying to take an approach of having a llama. We have a spokes llama, and not we are serious about our product, but to try to make it fun and not as serious all the time.
Mhm.
So that is a big piece of our brand as well, is fun, cute, lovable. Um, and that is something that we have that others don't.
That llama was very well thought of. The logo, the spokes llama, and
Uh-huh.
yeah, it's brilliant. Whoever came up with it.
I appreciate it. It was a team effort for sure.
Nice.
We wanted something memorable though.
And yeah, and speaking of Zena and the work
Mhm.
we have done together, I would love your honest feedback or your thoughts on how it has been working with me, with my team over the past few months, ever since Green Llama launched on Amazon. And I would love to hear from you.
Absolutely. Working with Xena has been wonderful. Amazon, I have mixed reviews because that's a tough platform. Also a jungle, like entrepreneurship.
Mhm.
Y'all have been attentive, easy to get meetings with, and easy to talk to and address concerns and questions. Always responsive to those. Helped us with building um, like the designs and photos, all to into those details. I didn't just have to hand it over to you, and it has felt like you actually care about our brand growing and not just what you're getting from us as a client. So I highly recommend Xena. Great people, great company, um, in the tough world of Amazon.
And I've told you this when we started as well, that I genuinely do personally care about the growth of Green Llama
Mhm.
because I really love you and Matt as a team. And it's just that I hope to be there sooner rather than later when you guys do. When I see Green Llama on Whole Foods, I can tell everyone that, hey, look at that. It's I know those guys. So that is just a matter of time. I'm pretty confident. And looking into the future, what's happening? I mean, you have so much experience. You've launched different product types.
Mhm.
Is there any plan to launch new products? Is there any plans to expand the current portfolio? Is there any like what do we have in mind? What can we look forward to?
Mhm. Uh, we can definitely look forward to more products. We are also at a stage where we want to laser focus in on what we have
Mm,
and grow the brand with the great products that we have. Simple ones that will come in the future would be a laundry with scents. Right now, it's fragrance free. Um, Adding a line there. Our laundry right now is very effective, very simple, but we may add different versions of it as well. Um, Far in the future, well, not too far, but further down the road, we would love to add hygiene products. You know,
mm.
your shampoo, conditioner, body wash, those type of things to add more options for plastic free.
I think
So, and a
toothpaste
safer disinfectant is in the future as well. So, pardon me.
disinfectant that doesn't burn and
Yeah,
just
that doesn't burn your nostrils.
burns a little bit.
Pass out.
And I think a mouthwash could be another the same concept where if it
Mhm.
doesn't burn, maybe people feel it's not effective. I think that would still stand there. Toothpaste, for example,
Right.
if they don't feel minty, then maybe they think that it's not clean. Uh,
Hmm.
that could be another interesting.
Absolutely. The foaming in the toothpaste too feels like that helps clean, but
Yeah.
it's the experience. It's just for the experience, which is interesting. So, yeah, I don't know who can do regular mouthwash for the full 30 seconds. I cannot. I try. Or
Yeah.
try.
I'm
But you're
sure
right, needing to feel that burn or yeah,
that
whatever else we would call it is not always necessary.
nice. And I'm sure you started for different reasons, but standing
Mhm.
right here, right now, where do you want to see Green Llama grow into? Do you want it to be acquired,
Mhm.
or would you like it to be acquired by a Unilever or a P&G, or would you like Green Llama to be a standalone product, a brand that
Mhm.
grows so big that it can stand on its own?
Mhm.
Like, what would you prefer happen in the near future?
Right. Ooh. We are very open right now, I would say. Um, I love the idea of growing and keeping it forever, but I also know that larger companies have more resources for distribution and manufacturing, and if us keeping it will keep it from reaching more people
Mhm.
and more customers, then yes, that is a possible into Green Llama. Not into Green Llama, in for us, I guess. But so I don't believe we have a preference, but we do, um, at the moment it's just focusing on growth
Got it.
and education, getting the word out that there's another way to clean. You don't have to buy big plastic jugs or big plastic bottle. So
That reminds me, I have to buy my refills now. So good.
yes, definitely. Well, we will send you some.
And especially since I've had my child, I'm even more sensitive and conscious towards what's in my surroundings, what's in my food, what's in my
Mhm.
clothing, everything that I'm consuming. I think that was a change for me, personally speaking, because in college I couldn't care less what I was drinking, eating, or using. But
Mhm.
now it's things are changing.
Right. You think, what is this doing to me? And I do think consumers are having a shift.
Mhm,
Like I, my mom grew up eating some bad foods, some good, but they were all real foods. I had a lot of processed foods. I ate a
mhm,
lot of eggs for breakfast. And
mhm,
then now I think we're seeing, that there's a shift back to what is this doing to us?
mhm,
Absolutely. Not just food, but like you said, your clothes, your cleaning products.
mhm,
And it does matter. Absolutely.
mhm.
Yes. And we want a cleaning product where you, let's say, for example, clean your table and then your new baby eats off of it, that you're not going to be too worried.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much for your time, Kia. Really appreciate it. And hopefully, we can have another podcast probably a few months or maybe a couple quarters later where we'd be in a different place and we'd be talking big things then as well.
absolutely. I would love that. Thanks so much for having me.
Thanks, Kay.